City won the treble, worth remembering that. And we just completed another treble. We've lost 3 Community Shields in a row. Typical Community Shield City, basically. It's tempting to sit there and get the surgeon tools out and pick through this Manchester City side, and do a post-mortem and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's also tempting just to look at the bigger picture and assess what we just saw. And remember that this is very Manchester City at this stage of the season. And if I'm being totally honest, obviously I know what's going to happen here. The reasonable people will be reasonable. The ones who moan all summer, even though we're on treble, will probably be carrying on moaning. And the positive ones will see the positives. I mean, I am sort of just always in the middle. I'm positive because City mainly do positive things. I mean, call me crazy with that, but I can tend to see that good things happen. I just react in a positive way. For me, I saw that City performance actually slightly ahead of where we usually are. Usually when we lose the Community Shield, like bringing the Leicester game, for example, we play pretty poorly at this stage of the season. And I thought actually the bigger picture of this game was that after a relatively average first half where we didn't really create much because we were missing Foden and De Bruyne. The second half, I thought when De Bruyne came on and Foden, we looked a little bit like ourselves. Sans, of course, Vardiel and Ake and whatever. I thought we were actually the better side. And I still feel that what I've seen today is that City, when they get going, we will still be relentless and we will still be ruthless and we will still be the Manchester City that have conquered so many teams. So to me, I look at that and go, do you know what? I've seen enough to know that we will be where we were last season, or we will be very close, if not the same level. Very, very close. And I think we will, of course, bring a winger in too, bring another player in. But I don't see that as a bad thing, particularly today. A little frustrating. It's one of those games where you want to win it, but if you don't win it, it is the Community Shield, man. It is the Community Shield. I can't pretend to care. Like, in the hierarchy, the Premier League, Carabao, FA Cup, the Super Cup was ahead of it, in my personal opinion. The Champions League, the Club World Cup. The Community Shield's right down at the very bottom for a good reason. You want to win it, but do you care if you don't win it? Not really, no. You're not really. Arsenal, of course, were absolutely buzzing. I get it, We gave them so much pain last year that they were always going to celebrate it. I don't really do the celebration police stuff. They did act like they just won the Champions League, though, to be fair. And then we did it against Liverpool when we won the penalty shootout as well. So I can't sit here and pretend that we wouldn't have celebrated at the same time. I would have. And I absolutely leapt out my seat when Cole Palmer scored. I think that was mainly because Cole Palmer scored a worldie. So I was buzzing for Cole Palmer. But perspective is always needed, man. It is. Arsenal looks like Arsenal of last year, if I'm being honest. I do think when City went up a level, we were a better side, and I don't think they can stick with us. I don't. If Foden scores that chance when City are on top, that probably ends up 3-0 that game, and City run away with it. I do believe that, It is what it is, though. Fair play. They got a lucky goal towards the end of deflection. They probably deserved a draw on the overall balance of the game. I can't deny that. They had some good chances in the first half, but I think it was very even. They created about 3 or 4 big chances. So did we. Foden, Palmer, a couple of good headers from Stones and Rodri. It is what it is there. We didn't quite take ours to get a second, and they didn't get more than one either. But that's how it is. What I see today when looking at that team is obviously Akanji was filling in at left back. We do need Ake there, but I do see a chance for Vardiel to really help with the build-up. He'll take that spot, I'm almost certain, and make it his own. Edison will come back into the team, of course. We'll see. I think it's going to be tough for Walker, actually. I can see Stones playing a right back an awful lot and stepping into midfield. I can see it because he's going to be better. Walker is great defensively, but he offered very little going forward today. In fact, I love you, Kyle, but I got to a point where Ravi just didn't cross. You know what I mean? Like, he just cannot cross to save his life, Kyle Walker. I love him to bits, but he can't cross. It's very frustrating. Either way, you look through the team, Diaz, Stones will be absolutely fine. Rodri actually had a decent game. Let's talk about Kovacic. I thought Kovacic had a really good game, actually. I thought he looked smart. Obviously, he didn't do anything outstanding, but you can already see. I don't ever want to dig a player out, but the comparison's relative. You can already see how much Kovacic suits Manchester City compared to Calvin Phillips, for example. I hope Calvin Phillips comes good, but when you see a man like Kovacic there, and he just looks so at home in this Manchester City side, and he's moving so naturally, he's giving goes, he's tight football, the little drive forwards every now and then. obviously, I'm not saying he had an outstanding game, but he suits Manchester City. He fits like a glove, and you can tell that he's going to be absolutely fine when he's had time to adapt. He just fits perfectly. And that's with no adaptation time whatsoever. So I see that as a big positive there. I thought Bernardo was all hustle and bustle, and Alvarez was too as well, actually. But neither of them had a cracking game. But I thought they were both okay. They were both decent. I do think Grealish was very quiet. He was quiet. I feel like Grealish is very much the kind of guy. I think he doubts himself a little bit sometimes. I think he needs a bit of time to get into a rhythm, Grealish. He needs to be... I would compare it during my watch along as like, when you've not been on the bike for a while and you get back on it and you're a little bit wobbly. And when basically you're a little bit wobbly, it takes a little bit of time to kind of get your composure back and so on. And eventually, before you know it, you're riding smoothly. I think Grealish is the kind of guy, it takes a bit of time to get going. Foden came on for him, and Foden was absolutely electric. I was really impressed with Foden. He turned Arsenal, he turned the tide, and like his run when he span away from Partey led to Palmer's goal. He looked really, really smart, like really, really impressive. I've got an awful lot of belief that he'll get better this season. His finishing has dropped a little bit. I think he's caught in his head a tiny bit. He was a much better finisher when he first burst through onto the scene. He scored quite a few goals and one-on-ones in particular. I feel like that will come with time, and I feel like in general he needs to just find his calmness in front of goal again, but it will come. But either way, he massively changed the game. De Bruyne, of course, as well, when he came on, he looked really sharp. He missed his penalty, unfortunately, but that's De Bruyne. I knew he was going to miss a penalty as soon as he stepped up. But he was really impressive against Arsenal, as he always is against Arsenal, until the penalty miss. Bernardo, I mentioned him. Haaland ghosted. Haaland sort of does ghost in these games. And look, Haaland ghosted in the Community Shield last year, and everyone was like, oh, he's not going to be good enough. And then look what happened, man. He broke the Premier League goal-scoring record. Do not put it against him, as Callum just said in the chat, to score a hat-trick in the Champions League final. That's what... Not in the Champions League final, sorry. Tired. Against Burnley on Friday night is what I meant to say. He will do that probably because he's Haaland, Would anyone be surprised? The way I see it is like, it's not worth overreacting to these things. It's our usual start to the season. Cole Palmer, man. I was absolutely buzzing for Cole Palmer. Like genuinely... I was delighted for him. Like to score that goal. Like I've been defending Cole Palmer for absolutely ages. I do think Cole Palmer is an elite level talent. He just needs a bit of confidence. And I know he's got magic in his boots. That goal was immense. It's such a world class finish. It was a mini Mahrez, man. Like give him a chance. Cole Palmer. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. We'll be fine, man. We'll be fine. Like, I do think Guardiola will sign a winger. I do think we will have... We need basically to give Guardiola the players. And I think we've got the players if we sign a winger. Get another man in, and we should be all right there. I wouldn't play Palmer as the first choice right winger, but as the backup behind a Foden or a Bernardo, yeah, absolutely. I don't care if we sign a left or right winger, by the way. I just want to make sure that we've got the numbers. And the way I see it is, as long as you play Guardiola the right amount of senior players of quality, he'll work out who needs to go where and get it sorted. Like, I think Matoma would be fine because then we'd have Grealish competition and we could leave Foden and Bernardo and Palmer to concentrate on the right if they're not needed in midfield. So I think we'd have enough there, It would be absolutely fine. Someone can't do the whole did Haaland play today when he literally devastated the whole Premier League and broke the goal scoring record. Come on, man. Have some shame. You're only about 2 minutes away from saying, did Declan Rice play today? You know what I mean? He ghosted up until he got a lucky Trossard equaliser. I don't know. I thought that relative to where City had been over previous years, it was a totally fine performance. It genuinely was. It was like 110 minutes when they scored their goal or whatever it was. 110 minutes, 102 minutes. I'm exaggerating a bit. It is what it is. I saw some positives today. I saw some negatives. First half, we were a little bit ropey. The fact of the matter is, I think we look at Manchester City, and the thing is, Guardiola is a reactive but also iterative manager. Guardiola has an idea, he tries it, and then works out what doesn't quite work, and he improves on it over time. Because that's what Pep Guardiola does, man. Like, he does that. Unfortunately, it takes time because Guardiola's best laid plans aren't instinctive. They're usually it's why we're better in the second half always, pretty much. It's why we get better around November, December, January. It's just how it is. It takes a little bit of time, unfortunately, for Guardiola's sides. I did honestly believe this was a little bit ahead of the level where we usually are. Like, if you look at City's Community Shield record, it isn't good for a reason. We do tend to start slowly. But this was a little bit better. And this is an Arsenal side desperate to beat us, by the way. Like, desperate. You know, and look where we were. You know, like, I feel like it's pretty even. Arsenal cannot rub it. No Arsenal fans can rub it in our faces. They'll try. Maybe we won the Community Shield. You won the Community Shield. We won the treble. Well done. You're Leicester. You know what I mean? Well done. That's your level, Leicester. They did it against us. You have that, and we achieved greatness. That's where we're at. But anyway, you didn't even beat us. It was a draw. You know, so let's be honest. A penalty shootout where, like, you know, when we've got look, it's fine. It is what it is. Let's see how. This is the team I want to see. By the way, I'm gonna build a team now and put it on the pitch that I want to see. I want to see this team. I think this is the team I would play defensively. I would probably do this. I'm gonna build a team right now and put it on screen. 1 second. I think I would like this as a team. I'd like to see this against Burnley. I will start for now. I will start Grealish, but I'd like to see this with Stones stepping into midfield against Burnley like that. Composition's done nothing wrong, but I want to see this for now. I want to see this, you know, something like that. And obviously, when we've got the ball, Stones can come forward once again, and we can have this here with a Kanji over there. I've got nothing against Walker, but I just think we're better in the build-up this way as well. I would like to see this. Or you can even see Foden get the start on the left, and we can see, you know, Kovacic come in with Bernardo over on the right. I'd like to see something like this over here. But I want to see something more like that, because I think, you know, that's a bit hard for Nake, but that team is way better than we saw today. I've got a feeling we're going to go up and be really, really good. I honestly believe when everyone's fit, when everyone's sharp, we'll be absolutely fine. So once again, perspective is needed. City won the treble. They beat us on pens today. We've got a massive gear to go up. You can just sense it. We will be excellent, and we will be brilliant. Guys, I've got a Fan View Live coming soon. If you want to chat to me, come and join me for the Fan View Live. Let me know if you want to have a chat. I'll see you all in about 15 minutes. Bye-bye.